Okay, welcome guys. Today we're going to be doing a review of Drive on Moscow 2.0. It's the latest update from Shenandoah Studios, and it brings with it iPhone compatibility. Yes, so you can now play Drive on Moscow on your iPhone. And for you guys that have the iPad version, you can get it for free on your iPhone. I'm going to dive right into the app, show you guys the pros and cons, and all the goodies of this game here. So starting up the game here, we'll start up a new. Obviously, you can see I was playing one. One interesting addition to 2.0 is a new opponent personality called Halder. So you can kind of challenge yourself and give the AI different personalities so they don't do the same moves every time. That's a nice welcome addition. So it kind of gives you a little bit of variety, so you know the AI will not do the same thing every time. All right, diving into the pros and cons list. So the first thing I noticed, stronger AI. So in one of the games I was playing, I had one Panzer division here. And in the previous original version of the game, I actually had that Panzer attack my forces in Kashira here, doing a suicide run. In this 2.0 update, I noticed that they actually pulled back and fell back to, I'm not going to pronounce that, but Bogorotisk. And it provided a more intelligent decision. Instead of doing a suicide move, it actually fell back and did a defensive, provided a better defensive position. So that was a plus. I noticed the AI is a little bit more, well, intelligent. So it's always a good thing when you're playing a war game. More balancing. This is something I noticed Shenandoah Studios added in this game. And what I mean by more balancing is if I tap on this unit right in the middle, previous version, the Russians slaughtered the Germans in here. They were literally invincible. In this version, not so much. As you can see, well, they got 3 hits, but normally that I get on average, it's about 1. And if so I mean, it fluctuates, but normally in the previous version, they usually took 3, 4, they took a lot of hits. This way, it's a little bit more balanced. The Russians don't feel like superhuman soldiers, which is a good thing. So balancing is a really good feature that they added into this game. It feels more like a real war game instead of the Russians just slaughtering the Germans. And instead of being a cakewalk, you actually have to kind of do a little strategy there. Another pro that I liked about it, they included in the multiplayer experience. They included a 1-week timeout rule, which is kind of cool because if you're playing somebody, this guy's taking forever to do a turn. After a week, it times him out and goes right back to you. That's a really big plus. And I'm ashamed to say it, I'm that guy that takes a little bit sometimes. Now let's dive into the cons. All right. So I noticed a few bugs in the game. I'm actually going to try to finish this turn because I ran into a bug. I'm going to see if I can replicate it. I'll do a quick turn here. Yep. And do something like this just to get through the turn here. Alright, excellent. Yeah, I ran into that bug. It kind of does something like this. I don't know if this is intentional, but it just goes on and on and on. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but I doubt it. This seems to be something that is a little bit of a bug. You have to jump out of the game. I only noticed this with the with Halder. With everybody else, it works fine. So just don't use Halder, I guess, until they fix it. Let me just show you some of the UI bugs that I also noticed. Let me just get out of this. There we go. All right. So one thing I noticed is if you look on the top left of the screen, you have an option button that has number 1 next to it, and then above it you have the undo button. The undo button is transparent. The option button isn't. It doesn't feel like there's inconsistency there. That also pops up in another button when you kind of switching turns. the continue button, which I'll show you in a second here. After I do a couple turns, it'll pop up, but it just doesn't seem like there's like any consistency. Some buttons are transparent, some are not, which is kind of weird. I don't know if that's a bug or if that was a design issue. I'm hoping it was just a bug. And some UI tweaks that I noticed. I posted this in my previous update of Drive on Moscow. What I mean by that is UI tweak, as in like I would have loved the date and time being on the screen, because currently you have to click this, and then you can see the date and time, how many turns you have left. I would love to see where taking that from there, putting it on the main screen, because every so often you kind of go like this. Okay, I got so many turns left, and then going back, and then going back and forth, and it gets repetitive. So I would have loved to see something like that on the screen. And the last thing, in terms of a UI tweak, I would have loved to end your turn. You have to click this, and then you have to click commit, and they'll end your turn. I just don't understand why they didn't just put end turn or commit on the main instead of that flag being there with the Russian star. Put end turn there, because I mean, me having to constantly do this and clicking like that is just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't know why you have to keep tapping that flag and click and commit. I'll show you now where that other transparency is. If you look on the bottom right, it continues right there. And okay, so now it works. That's good. All right. But that's about it. Those are the only things that I noticed. There were a little bit of bugs. You're gonna get a bug with basically any update. The more bugs you fix, the more it pop out. They just always pop up in any type of application. In terms of a 2.0 update, I really love this, because I can now carry Drive on Moscow on the go. There's certain places I go where I don't have access, and I can't bring my iPad, and so the iPhone, I can play it right on there, which is awesome. Let's see what else. Oh, one last thing, guys. It's a free update, so go ahead and get it right away. But the last thing is, if you bought the iPad version of Drive on Moscow and you trying to get the iPhone version and it's giving you a price, and you're kind of like, wait, I bought this already. I thought it was supposed to be free. Just buy it again. It'll click $4.99 or $9.99. Put in your Apple ID, and a box will pop up, letting you know that you already purchased it. It's going to give it to you for free, so don't worry about it. You don't have to buy it again. So just wanted to point that out to you guys just in case. And that's basically it. I'm trying to keep my reviews under 10 minutes so you guys don't hear me ranting forever. Anyway, that's this review of Drive on Moscow 2.0. Go and get it. It's free.